Hello students, this is Mr. Liu and I am here to give you a 10-minute review of Springville High School's and Nebo School District policies. Let's talk about attendance. Bottom line, you need to attend school and you need to learn, and my job is to help you do that. You need to learn how to be punctual and how to participate in class and not be disruptive. Let's be more specific. What are your responsibilities? Well, you need to be to class on time and ready to learn every period. We're going to start out with bell type exercises, and I call them daily affirmations. So in my class, you'll have something to do right away. You need to check out through the attendance office, and the same thing is true if you're going to check back in that same day. You need to make sure that you have made up any unexcused absences or tardies accumulated before the end of the term in which they are incurred. And we're going to talk a little bit about that in a moment. If you arrive to tardy to class, you need to check with me, your teacher, to make sure that I've marked you as tardy and not absent. Now, if you arrive to class later than 50, if the class is more than halfway done, it's still going to be marked as unexcused absence. So just be aware of that. It is your responsibility to make up any of your excused absences, make up the work. So if you do miss classwork, you need to make that up. In my class, I ask that students make up that classwork within 1 week of the last day that you had an excused absence. Parents may excuse your absences by replying to the absence notification in their email, or leaving a message with the attendance office. Parents must call and excuse an absence within 1 week if a student has missed a class for any of the following reasons: an illness, a death in the family, improved school activity, a medical, dental, or orthodontic appointment, a family emergency, an absence excused through a healthcare or other accommodation plan. Now, it's my responsibility to help you succeed academically and to help your parents or guardians maintain a clear picture of your attendance patterns as well as how you're doing with your grades. So my job is to make sure that I accurately roll each day. Once again, if you come in late, you better make sure that I change that absence to a tardy. And in my class, I ask that you complete a late slip form. So that's a hall pass / late slip form. And there you can date and timestamp it. And that's to protect you, because if you're claiming that you were late to class, and you've told me that, and you also have backup record that shows that you did in fact come into class late that day, then that's good evidence that you were in fact tardy but not absent. So just to highlight, you can be tardy if you're 0 to 20 minutes late. In my class, I'm looking for you to be to class on time. A late tardy is 20 to 40 minutes, and an unexcused absence is a U, and a slough is if you're supposed to be somewhere with me at an assembly or in class and you ditch class, then you're going to be marked with a slough. And I also notify the attendance office. There are some consequences for your poor attendance. I don't want to go into a lot of detail about that, but you may receive detention. And there are ways that you can make up that detention, or you may serve your detention before or after school in the computer lab. You can also work with me. I do have my class open most every day after school. The exceptions may be Mondays, where we have collaboration and early out. You may be put on a no participation list. So parents and students will be contacted regularly via parent link and email regarding attendance and detention hours. If your behavior continues and you do not lower your detention hours below 10, the students will be placed on you will be placed on a no participation list. So in order to try out, apply for, audition for an extracurricular activity, you need to make sure that you have less than 10 hours of detention. We will make sure your grades are updated on SIS, also known as Aspire. So check that regularly. If you have seen any discrepancies, please let me know. So your grade could impact your participation as well. You may change the classes, your class before the semester begins. However, once class has started, their different policy that kicks in. So after the new semester begins, you will be required to pay a $10 class change fee during the first 5 days of school of each semester. You could make some changes based on the following if you were in the class by academic misplacement, a program change, a missing or academic class, missing graduation requirement, or a hole in your schedule. Those are some of the reasons why you might change. A couple district policies for you to be aware of. You may be suspended, expelled, or subject to an appropriate disciplinary action when the school administration has determined that you represent a threat to the health and or safety of other students and or employees by causing or attempting or threatening to cause personal harm, damage or personal or school property, damage to personal or school property, and or disrupting school activities or transportation. Evidence of gang affiliation or involvement in illegal activities. There is a weapon violation. Any student in a school building, in a school vehicle or district property, or in conjunction with any school activity, possesses, controls, uses, or threatens use of real weapons, explosive, noxious, or flammable material, or actually uses or threatens to use a facsimile or a look-alike weapon with the intent to intimidate another person or disrupt normal school activities. Students may be suspended or expelled from all district schools, programs, or activities for a period of 1 year, but will meet with district team to determine the length of the suspension. Use of tobacco, alcohol, and drugs. These are prohibited substances. No students may use, possess, be under the influence of, or sell or distribute any of the following while on school or district property. Addictive prescription drugs, alcohol, alcoholic beverages, or alcoholic products, illegal drugs, imitation or other harmful substances, non-addictive prescription drugs, over-the-counter drugs, paraphernalia, tobacco. It is not a violation of this policy for students to possess, use, or be under the influence of a single dose or dosage covering the period in which a student will be at school or at a school-sponsored activity of an over-the-counter drug or prescription drug legally prescribed to the student. Consequences. There are consequences for violation. Here you'll see the type of offense, if it's your first offense, second offense, or third offense. Okay? And you can refer to this chart if you have questions about that. Dress code. You need to wear certain types of student clothing and grooming, and the following are prohibited. If you're wearing clothing that draws undue attention, distracts, disrupts, or interferes with the educational environment at school or at a school activity or event. If you are wearing clothing that endangers the health, safety, or welfare of students or others. You should comply with the following dress and grooming standards at school. Clothing shall be modest, neat, clean, and in good repair. Modesty includes covering shoulders, midriff, back, underwear, and cleavage. Inappropriately short, tight, or revealing shorts, skirts, dresses, tank tops, halters, or crop tops, and spaghetti straps tops are prohibited. Clothing and personal items such as jewelry, backpacks, fanny packs, gym packs, water bottles, etc. shall be free of writing, pictures, or any other insignias that are lewd, obscene, vulgar, or profane, are violent, or advocate hate, signify gang affiliation, promote or represent tobacco, alcohol, drugs, or illegal substances. Students in secondary schools may wear hats and other head coverings, notwithstanding the foregoing. Hats and head coverings that may not be worn in either elementary or secondary schools if doing so disrupts the educational environment. Students shall comply with the following dress and grooming standards. Sunglasses are not to be worn in the school building during school hours, except as part of an improved school activity. Appropriate footwear shall be worn at all times. Gang-related clothing, personal items, grooming, hairstyles, colors, and paraphernalia are not allowed. Hairstyles and facial hair that draw undue attention, distracts, disrupts, or interferes with the learning atmosphere at school are prohibited. Jewelry, accessories, piercings, tattoos, chains, clothing, etc., which are disfiguring or draw undue attention, could be classified as prohibited. School administrators may approve exceptions to this policy for special school activities or events. Adherence to these dress and grooming standards will be the responsibility of the student and his or her parents or guardians. Student discrimination and harassment, the types of conduct that are prohibited in the district and that may, upon examination of the totality of the circumstances, constitute discrimination or harassment based upon race, color, religion, sex, national origin, disability, or other classification protected by law include but are not limited to threatening or intimidating contact, epithets, slurs, negative stereotypes, name calling, verbal abuse, derogatory comments, verbal, written, or graphical material containing comments or stereotypes aimed at degrading students, aggressive conduct towards a student, graffiti containing offensive or derogatory language, any unwelcome communication, jokes, notes, stories, drawings, or pictures, gestures, or the display or distribution of offensive or degrading material, displaying words, pictures, or symbols on clothing that are offensive or degrading, engaging in any of the foregoing types of discriminatory or harassing behavior outside of school or outside of school-related activities and events, but which materially disrupt the educational environment at school. Prohibition of bullying, hazing, or retaliation. The Board of Education is committed to provide all students in district employees with a safe and secure learning and working environment. Bullying, cyberbullying, harassment, hazing, and retaliation for reporting incidents of bullying, cyberbullying, harassment, or hazing reduces a student's ability to achieve academically and reduces an employee's ability to perform their job responsibilities. In addition to bullying, cyberbullying, harassment, hazing, and retaliation can directly affect a student's or an employee's health and well-being, and may contribute to excessive absences and so forth. Students, electronic devices. This is a popular one. Pay attention. You must adhere to the following rules. Electronic devices may be used during a class period or school activity specifically approved by the teacher. So in my classroom, you need to have permission to use your devices in conjunction with an educationally appropriate objective. A teacher or school administrator should only authorize the use of electronic devices during class period or other school activities when it benefits or enhances the student's education. Okay? Students may use electronic devices during class time when authorized pursuant to an individual education plan, a Section 504 accommodation plan, or a health care plan. The use of electronic devices may be prohibited by students during state or federally mandated tests and assessments, okay, unless specifically approved by law, an IEP, or a Section 504 accommodation plan. Student electronic devices. Students shall not use electronic devices at any time or place for activities which disrupt the educational environment. So if you're found in my class being disruptive because you're listening, you've got your hoodie on, you're listening to your earphones, or you're texting somebody, or you're on your devices for whatever reason, and it's considered disruptive, don't be surprised if I ask you to put it away and to respect the class policy. Okay? More school policies can be found in the student handbook online at shs.nebo.edu. So if you have any questions, come see me, and I'll be glad to answer those questions for you. This is Mr. Liu, your sensei, your teacher, saying, hey, let's have a great year.